I have a very strong personal vision related to Wi-Fi, and it's both international and it's domestic. From an international perspective, I see Wi-Fi as an extension of the mobile broadband footprint. It's going to give customers a better overall experience, giving them greater access and greater value. So I see Wi-Fi as an integrated product for consumers, particularly those that are in a roaming environment, whether it be temporary or even longer term, to just improve upon the customer experience and again give greater access, greater ubiquity, and greater value. From a domestic perspective, and just relating to my AT&T experience, I see Wi-Fi becoming a converged technology where it looks, feels, and touches just like LTE. In fact, to the customer, they won't even know whether or not they're on LTE or Wi-Fi. Again, it's an extension of the macro network and maybe in some ways just part of the overall macro network. In terms of barriers, perhaps the most significant is just interconnectivity and interoperability of networks. And it takes me back to the early days of GSM and the GSM Association and how much of an impetus it was for the industry once carriers started establishing roaming agreements with each other. In terms of Wi-Fi and my role at AT&T, I've seen how difficult it is to establish roaming agreements. And it's not the contractual elements, it's more the technology elements. So I think reducing those barriers, reducing friction is going to allow for greater interconnectivity, which will serve as a platform for many new products, many new services related to Wi-Fi. Well, the WBA probably has the broadest representation across the entire Wi-Fi industry. So whether you're a mobile operator, a fixed operator, pure play Wi-Fi operator, if you're in the technology industry producing equipment for Wi-Fi, you're an aggregator, an integrator, all of these types of companies are represented. So someone who has to make lots of decisions around Wi-Fi, it's a one-stop shop. If I want to make a technology choice, I know that I'm going to find companies like Cisco or Ericsson and many others that I can collaborate with. If I want to establish a Wi-Fi roaming agreement, I know it's going to be very well represented by other groups that share a collective vision that we can establish an agreement with. So I think it's just exceptionally broad and again, very valuable for anyone that's either exploring Wi-Fi or well into a Wi-Fi strategy. My vision for Wi-Fi and the collective vision of the Wireless Broadband Alliance is that Wi-Fi is a complementary technology to the mobile broadband experience. We established some pillars a few years back that remain highly relevant, and those are effectively our guiding principles. And that is that Wi-Fi becomes seamless, secure, and interoperable. So the WBA has established itself as an important element in the broader ecosystem for Wi-Fi, and everything that we do will be based on advancing and accelerating, again, seamless, secure, and interoperable Wi-Fi. Wi-Fi is like gravity, and so long as spectrum remains a scarce resource, which I believe it will indefinitely, Wi-Fi is going to remain highly relevant regardless of whether it's a 3G HSPA plus environment or LTE. There's also certain advantages to Wi-Fi, particularly in small cell deployments, including dense metropolitan areas, places like stadiums. So I believe regardless of where the macro technology evolution goes, Wi-Fi is going to remain highly relevant.